Hello, welcome to ProfCon 2020. We're really excited to have everyone here. We have some outstanding speakers planned, and I think you're just going to get so much out of the next 3 days. Before we start, I'm going to do a little walkthrough of how the platform works so that you can get a good feel for finding your different speaking sessions, the networking events, and other things that are available. So let's go ahead and look over here at this screen. Where you are right now is you're in the main stage. I'm not going to click on main stage because it will give us some reverb sound-wise, but main stage is where you're going to go for all the keynote speakers, and that is the little tab that says stage. Now, where you're going to see every time you log on is the lobby. In the lobby, you'll notice there are those 3 little tabs: the feed, agenda, and sponsors. The feed is where you can see the latest posts and announcements from Stukent. The agenda is where you can see all of the speakers coming up for the next 3 days. As you're going through this, if you find some that you're like, oh, I want to make sure I don't miss that one, you can hit the star for interests, or if it's one that hasn't happened yet, you can also pre-register. You'll notice right here where the first session has started, you can just click join if you hadn't joined already. One thing to note as you're looking at the agenda, there's a little bit of a glitch where the 3rd day is not loading from the beginning. However, if you click on Tuesday and you give it a second to load up, Wednesday will appear. We have some outstanding speakers scheduled for Wednesday. So we're working on getting that fixed as soon as possible. But I want to make sure you guys are all aware that ProfCon is continuing through Wednesday and that you don't miss out on the speakers who have taken the time to prepare some really excellent content for you for Wednesday. So let's look at a couple of the other tabs as well. Sessions, if you click on sessions, that's where the breakout sessions are going to be happening. We have some breakout sessions today. As you scroll through here, you'll be able to see the different breakout sessions. You can register for them. You can mark if you're interested. The thing that interests will do is then you can go and look at your own tab, and it will show you all the things that you've marked that you're interested in when they're available. In addition to the sessions, there's the networking tab. We're going to have some networking sessions each day. What you'll do for those, you'll go ahead and register, or you can join if they've already happened. This is a chance for you to meet professors and educators from all over the world to share some of your different ideas and teaching tips, and it's just a chance to meet others who have similar goals and topics. People, if you click on that tab, you'll see all of the attendees. This is where you can do a private chat. If I wanted to chat, let's say I'm going to chat with Haley. I click on there and I would click connect. And they will accept the connection, and that's how you can do a private chat. And then last but not least is the Expo tab. Here you'll see a variety of booths put on by Stukent where you can learn about some of our latest products. And if you have any questions regarding any of the simulations, textbooks, this is a great place to go to ask those questions. We're really excited to have you here, and I'm really excited for you to hear from our latest speaker. We're going to kick this off with our Stukent CEO, Stuart Draper. As many of you know, Stu is the co-author of one of the best-selling digital marketing textbooks in education, Digital Marketing Essentials. And he is also the co-founder of Get Found First. It's a digital marketing platform. And as you know, he's the CEO of Stukent, which has the last 2 years in a row been one of the top Inc. 5000 businesses. So we'll turn the time over to Stu.
Thanks, Rochelle. You guys, it is so fun for me to have this opportunity to connect with all of you once a year through ProfCon now. And then I try to get you that newsletter. I hope you guys are taking time to read that every week. we really wanted ProfCon to be in person in Vegas, but we're really glad to be with you virtually. And one of the reasons I'm so excited about that is because of how many people we're able to connect with virtually as compared to in person. I think we were projecting somewhere in the 300 range in person, and we have well over 1,000 here with us over the next 3 days with ProfCon virtual. So excited to get to know you guys better and connect with you here. There will be a lot of opportunities to connect and feel like you are engaging with people almost as if it was in person. And we hope that that's what comes from this. Learn, prepare, share is what ProfCon is all about. We hope you'll be able to learn some new things, that you'll be able to prepare more for your classes and upcoming courses, and that you will be able to share as well. And if it's not as a presenter, maybe you'll have the right question that helps everybody. Maybe you'll have the right comment in the chat that really makes a difference and that other people connect and relate with. So please use the platform because we're better together. So I hope you'll stay engaged. We've invested heavily in Excel events. It's not like a small monthly fee like some of the other Zoom and platforms like that. This one we think will help you connect and do more than what you'd get with just an average webinar. So my topic, We're Better Together, is one that I'm going to start by sharing how we're better together with our students and alumni. The PhDs, the adjuncts, the research assistants, the administrators, the students and alumni, the industry pros, not the publishers, but the courseware providers. All of us together can do so much to make a difference in this world. Not just for our students, but in this world. And I say courseware providers instead of publishers because I'm passionate about doing more than just what the traditional publisher is known for doing. It's not just an e-textbook. It's not just some resources. It's literally everything you could possibly need to do a good job of providing what we call the perfect pedagogy. It's more than just an e-textbook. So to start off, we did some research. We talked to 1,200 of your students that have now graduated and moved on from a total of 673 schools. So this is some fun data I'm excited to share with you. We asked them first what degree they earned. If we thought it was important to know whether marketing or non-marketing. About half are marketing, or about 3/4 are marketing or business management. Then there's another quarter of them that are other business related degrees or non-business related degrees. We asked these students if they included their experience using Stukent on their resume or their LinkedIn profile. Only 22% said yes. I thought it would be a little bit higher than that, but I knew that it wouldn't be everything, right? When you take a class, you don't automatically think, yeah, something from my class, especially from the publisher or courseware provider, is what I'm going to include on my resume. But after we asked that question, with that question, we asked them if they thought it would be a good idea. And 43% of them said no, but it's a good idea, so I'll go do it right now. So what can we take from this? What idea do I have for you guys? Scott Cowley shared this last year at ProfCon, so I'm stealing the idea from him. It's a good idea to share your experience with Stukent on your resume. And so go tell your students this is something that's worth putting on your resume, and they will thank you for that. It's hard when you're a college student to build a resume that is very shiny or exciting. And this is something that can help them stand out. I managed $35,000 in ad spend and drove conversion rate improvement by 50%, right? Like there's different things like that they can and should be saying. So just a quick tip and suggestion there that came from the data. We segmented the data a little bit and said, okay, we're going to look at the data only as it relates to students that graduated by June 9th of 2019 or before then. 51% had a non-marketing related job, and 49% had a marketing related job. Now, this data would be interesting to look at if it also was specific to just those with a marketing major. And we have that data. It's not shared here today, but this data will be available later. And I'm guessing some of you will be interested in that. So I'll tell you more about how to get it later. Of the students that had a job that required marketing skills, 62% of them did. 38% did not. How many students had a job that required marketing knowledge? 71% said their job required marketing knowledge. 29% said it did not. Oh, I want to go back here real quick. So there's another interesting point with this data set that I wanted to bring up and I forgot, but it's worth jumping back real quick for. If you have to teach a class about digital marketing or other marketing subject to people that aren't going to have a job in marketing later, and it's about half of your students, then it's probably really important to help them see and take time to always talk about, even if you're not going to be in marketing, here's how this knowledge is going to help you in whatever other job you may have. And probably a good idea to share some scenarios, right? I thought that was an interesting insight. Maybe that is not new news at all to you folks that are, years and years into teaching marketing to your students. Which one did students prefer, textbook or simulation? They had to have, in order to get this question asked to them, they had to have already said that they used both simulation and textbook. 81% preferred the simulation. I wonder if any of them would have liked the simulation if they didn't have a textbook that was helping them have the knowledge to perform well in the simulation. I think they go well together. And so I don't think that you can glean from this data set that, hey, students just don't like textbooks anymore, don't want them at all. I think the point is they prefer them. And in relation to that, when the students were asked which helped them learn more, the simulation or the textbook, 78% said simulation over textbook. I would have guessed with this data that it would have been more 50-50. And I'm interested if you'll chat in and share for you guys what you would have guessed if the simulation would have been such a high percentage, or if you would what split you would have given simulation versus textbook as far as how students said it helped them learn. We asked the students if they would recommend using a simulation to their professor, and if it's something that if the professor called them, hey, would you want it now that you're on the job in your career, would you still tell me to use simulation for my class moving forward? And 85% said yes. I don't think that publishers think very often about the ROI of their product that they take to market and that they provide to professors and students. It's something that I care a lot about. I want to feel like what we're doing is really adding a lot of value and helping students move on with their career. Over 50% said that there was ROI from our courseware, and over 90% said that it's equally valuable or more valuable than other courseware. So that made me feel really good. We've still got a long ways to go. I want everyone to say, yes, the ROI is there. We asked the students as well how they compared StuCamp materials to the other courseware material they use. And then we broke this one down by major to see if it made much of a difference, which major they had as it related to how favorably they thought about our materials compared to the other learning materials they used in school. And everyone was very favorable. Surprisingly, I thought marketing majors would have StuCamp more favorable, but the business management major, more general, gave us a higher score overall. So again, plenty of work to do, but we're really happy that overall students are having a good learning experience and preferring our material. How strongly do students recommend a StuCamp course? Very similar to the last data set. And again, business management majors tend to give us the highest thumbs up over the marketing major as well. So if you want more of this data, watch for this and a ton of additional insights on the StuCamp.com/blog coming soon. The data will be in such a format where we'll break it down more so that you can see it as it relates to just marketing majors and get all of the results just from the marketing majors and such. So I know that a lot of you do research as it relates to digital marketing education and how it's evolving in the higher ed space. It's a fun space to be in. If you have a specific interest in the data and you don't want to wait for the blog, feel free to reach out and we can share some of this with you. It's something we want to share and just hope to get some citations out of it as well. Hope you'll make sure to give us credit for that share. I'm happy to do that. We asked a couple of questions to get some more qualitative data and feedback. It was a beast to go through this, and I haven't gone through all of it, to be frank. But what I did was I felt like I got enough to break it down into some high quality categories of feedback. So we asked them, is there anything you wish you had learned while in your marketing classes that you did not learn until you were on the job? Okay. Web design came up. It did not come up the most. So please don't take the fact that I'm sharing web design first as a way of saying web design was the biggest thing that every marketing student wished they had. It just came up, and some of the comments that came up, I just aggregated them into one slide here. The student said, make sure if you love marketing and digital marketing, you need to minor or take coursework in graphic design if you plan to build websites. Another student, if you look at the very end, says HTML and web design. It's helpful to understand even if it isn't part of your job function. If I'm talking to a marketing department chair and they're asking me, hey, do you think that we need to offer web design class to our marketing major? Should it be a required class to graduate? That sort of thing. My response would be yes, but don't put it in the marketing department. Don't ask a marketing professor to teach this class. Do they need it? Should it be an elective for those that are going down a digital marketing path? Most definitely. And I wouldn't have a marketing professor teach that course. I'd go with the department that's already offering courses and work with them, try to break down those silos. Although you can do some of this in a marketing class, and we have a project built around, if you look in the middle of this slide, web design through WordPress. There's a WordPress project in the Digital Marketing Essentials textbook that comes with the professor resources. We've redone that project. It's got a latest version that's pretty brand new. Go check that out if you haven't yet. Also, with more Photoshop and Creative, we have a textbook, Visual Focus, and does a great job. It has a lot of additional instructor resources there. So if you are trying to give your marketing students a little bit of that as a marketing instructor, feel free to check out the Visual Focus book. Okay, they brought up their job a lot and different parts of their job that they think are important to include. And for example, this first one, I take this first one with a grain of salt, right? Everything I do for work now, I learned it on my first job. Were they asleep while at college? I don't know. Did they really spend 4 years to get a degree and then not take anything with them? If so, that's their own fault, right? I think we can all agree on that. The next comment, not off the top of my head. I do use a lot of what I studied in classes in my job now, though. So that's a thumbs up, right? When you hear that the students are saying, yes, I'm using this stuff on the job. Another student said, how to find jobs in a pandemic. That's an interesting one. Back before 2019, I'm not sure that we would have foreseen that question or that feedback, foreseen that feedback. It's interesting, though, digital marketing opportunities and jobs should still be in abundance because the businesses that are in that space have not struggled like those that are offline only. Definitely a difficult time for anyone entering the job market when there's a lot of people with experience losing their jobs and entering the job market with years of experience. So they will struggle there. If you do have a way to reach out to alumni, it might be fun for you to get more information around this and see if there's ways you can help. I thought the next couple were interesting. The one that says how to explain things to the customer and company. Man, let's talk about it becoming more of a soft skills thing, but presentations and practicing presentations and presenting your digital marketing campaign plan that you had to do for a project in class could be a great way to help there. The top right one, I wish there was more taught on how to use popular marketing softwares. This is a challenge. We do everything that we can on our end to build relationships with the tool companies so that they'll give us access for the students to use the tools. Wishpond is one that's been helpful there in the past for us. SEMrush, you guys, the value of our relationship with SEMrush, I think it's undervalued a lot and should be given more use by students and instructors. Some use it religiously, semester after semester. SEMrush is just one of those digital marketing tools that's pretty mainstream for digital marketers, has a lot of value and costs thousands for enterprise. And we get that for your students for free for a short while. So make sure to take time to use tools like that and give your students access to them in class. Okay. That jumps right into tools and more hands-on that was brought up. The hands-on use of digital marketing. I was able to apply learnings in a capstone course where we leverage digital marketing tools with a nonprofit organization. I found that extremely beneficial. I just want to give a quick round of applause to the instructor that gave that student that opportunity. Those types of experiences stand out on a resume. They land better internships, they land better jobs, and they learn more when they get to apply right away. They talked about more digital and social media marketing, specifically the idea of, hey, can we get, we love the simulation, but let's get some experience using the real world tool after as well. So use the simulation, then try to find a way to get in the Google Ads platform. And Google and Facebook both are doing things to help you get your students ad dollars to practice with. Analytics was brought up multiple times as well, and excited to talk to you a little bit more in a little bit here about some of the tools and resources we have available there. I'm not going to break it down any further than that because I got a lot more to cover. So StuKent and simulation were brought up a few different times. Let me read this first couple to you. More discussion around the simulation, especially once you had a few bad weeks performance-wise and need help with decisions for getting back on track. I think a lot of instructors love simulation because of the load it can take off their plate in grading and in time spent preparing for the additional things that you need to have your students doing, right? I hope that if you are with us this week, that you'll take time to sit in on our boot camps. If you are an avid user of our boot camps, come in and share what you're doing. Avid user of our boot camp, sorry. If you're an avid user of our simulations and you love how you're able to lead some really good class discussion around the simulation, then please come to our boot camp and share that knowledge with the other instructors that are coming, saying, I just am afraid to share, to open up the discussion around the simulation in class. I like it to just be an outside thing. It's an out of sight, out of mind thing, and it works best for me if it's just a project they have and they glean what they will from it. It's best used when there is a mix of student practices in the simulation, comes to class and says, I didn't do as well as I thought I could. Can we look at my account? And we log into their account and we break it down and we see what's working well and what's not. That's where you're going to get the most value and teaching success with the simulation, is when you have those types of discussions. The next one, how to use the Google Ads platform. The Mimic training was the best materials of my entire college experience. I've supplemented that with the Google Ads certification courses offered by Google, but it would have been so helpful to have these two merge, so I'm able to play around with a campaign like in Mimic, but I'm able to get used to the Google Ads platform. The student wants to be able to say, yes, I'm really good at pay-per-click advertising and I understand paid search really well. But they have this thing holding them back, which is, I know the StuCamp platform, but I'm not that familiar with the actual tool and the actual platform. There's only so much time in a semester, and I know most schools are still only offering one digital marketing class, so it gets hard to cover everything. But if you can, give them that experience, help them find a small business that will let them do some ad management for them of maybe even just one of their campaigns. There's so much value in getting that hands-on real-world experience. Another student, makes you feel good when you hear students say, I would like to use other StuCamp products. Like maybe they only use Mimic Pro and they wish they could have used Mimic Social and gotten the social media marketing practice as well. Okay, I'm moving on from the data. Like I said earlier, there is more data there and happy to share it. So stay tuned for what we post on the blog there. Special thanks I'd like to give to Acadium as a sponsor. And I want to talk about why I love them as a sponsor. Acadium has done an amazing job of building a platform that connects students that are learning digital marketing and marketing in general with businesses that are in need of digital marketing services. And it's usually small businesses, but it's a great launch pad for these students that gives them real world experience. You may have seen some email blasts for us in the past about a company called Gen M. Acadium is Gen M. They've rebranded and they've done a phenomenal job. I've met with the owners and I'm really proud of their success and what they're doing to bridge the gap of industry and academia in a way like never before. Facebook Blueprint, I've had the opportunity and privilege to go out to Facebook and visit their headquarters in the Bay Area. They are a phenomenal company, as you all know, but the group specifically tied to Blueprint, they support education and they are very willing to invest and listen and learn from the marketing professors that we have here at StuKent, and they want to help provide more resources to you. So you'll get to hear from both of these organizations later in the week, and I wanted to give a quick shout out to them because, like I said in my presentation title, we're better together. And so I'm hoping that these connections help. StuKent's put together an advisory board. We'd love any additional nominations that you guys would like to make. Please feel free to send an email to Stuart@stukent.com if you have someone that you think from industry would add a lot of value to our advisory board. We have someone from HubSpot and Google, Karen Freeberg, who's an attendee at the University of Louisville, who you guys know as the creator of the hashtag SMProfs. If you don't follow the hashtag SMProfs on Twitter, it's a good follow. And Karen, bless her heart, has been very nice to has generously given a lot of her time to help us out with our StuKent Digital Summits. We're better together when we find other industry folks as well. So we've put together expert sessions where industry experts speak on the subjects and the chapter subjects of our textbooks. So to me, the ability to read the academic text, take the quiz and prove you know that you have the knowledge, and watch a video of an industry expert speaking on the subject of that chapter subject, very valuable. I don't know of other businesses and courseware providers that are doing this for their customers. This is something that we will do and continue to do more of, so stay tuned and take advantage of them. They're great for if you have a day that you have to cancel class last minute, you can say, hey, go watch this specific expert session and write a blog post about it. We've put together video case studies that go with the Modern Marketing Principles textbook that Kinda Wilson and Jerry Rackley wrote. The textbook's phenomenal on principles of marketing. The video case studies are a great way to bridge industry and academia. They put the students in the shoes of a marketing consultant or a marketing intern helping a business owner with a specific marketing need they have. And we're looking to do more of these video case studies. If you have a small business or know of any size business that's interested in participating with us, it does take some time. They get some free professional video content out of it. But when I say time, it's like a half day to a full day of their time. And it's super valuable for the students. If you've never had a chance to check these out, go to the Modern Marketing Principles textbook and go find the video case studies in there. The digital summits are another way that we can be better together. We put together 4 to 5 speakers a few times a year. And if you want to go register for the next one, we already have 3 of the speakers lined up. Dabika, Nick, and Kristen, if you're here, shout out to you guys. Thank you for being with us and for doing this for us. StuKent.com/digital-summit is where you can go and register. Love to see you guys there and bring you together in that way. This is our Facebook page. It looks incredibly similar right now. Well, it'll probably change its design tomorrow because or the next day because ProfCon will be over by Wednesday. You can see we're pushing ProfCon. The Facebook page, the LinkedIn page, we try to provide this information and everything and keep you up to date with this. Check out how similar, by the way, Facebook and LinkedIn look. They're pretty similar. Anyway, there's the StuKent Professor community on Facebook as well, and it gets used. We have interactions here, and it's not just a place for StuKent to hawk our material. We're trying to create a place where you guys can help each other out. So Professor John Sturstick, shout out to him for being a participant, asks a question, and Kathy Fredrickson and Lisa jump in and help him out. Nick Schreck then jumped in and helped out as well. So very helpful community here for you. Go to Facebook's StuKent Professor community in the search, and you'll find us. Thank you to all those participating there. If you're not, go take a second, jump in, and you can do it even mid-presentation. Just open a new tab. We have the blog as well. Shout out to Denny McCorkle, our last professor of the month. Specifically with the blog, I wanted to point out a way that we help. It's the News You Can Use posts that we do every month. Every month, you can see roughly 10 or so articles that we deem to be the most relevant to the changes happening in the industry that we think professors that are teaching the subject should know about. So go watch for those and subscribe to the blog. The vision of StuKent has evolved, right? And you guys, some of you that have been with us for a long time, chat in if you're someone who's been with us since 2014. I'd love to see who's been around that long. It's fun to have you since, for now, 6 years. It's crazy how fast time flies. When I created StuCant, if you'd told me that we would have just shy of 1 million users from the period of January 2017 to today, I would have laughed you out of the room. I just didn't see it getting as big as it's become. But what's fun about it is my vision of what's possible and what we can do for you guys has evolved drastically as well. And StuCant's going to be in the 10 million users range. You watch over the next 3-4 years, it'll go there. And I'm excited for that, and excited because of what it means for you guys. As we have more users and more resources, we're going to be able to continue to build better, more innovative products than we ever have before. Speaking of products, chat in if you used the Real Deal simulation, which was the first digital marketing simulation that StuCant took to market back in 2014. Love to have someone chat in and say, yep, that was me. I was around. It's evolved over time, right? We've gone from just digital marketing to add social media marketing, add mobile marketing essentials, add some, we've heard this web design thing from students. And so we added visual focus. We decided to jump into the space of advertising with the Media Planning Essentials book that Beth Egan did. In 2018, we came at it hard with consumer behavior, business writing, marketing analytics, marketing strategies, hit the high school market, social media marketing. Then another book from Michelle Torello was added. And then last year we added modern marketing principles, market research essentials, a textbook for the high school market called Mod Marketing. Mimic Social has a high school version. For those that didn't know, that has been working well in the high school space. We're surprised by how many high schools have business being taught at the high school level. And so we're jumping in and helping out there. And it's been fun to see what we can do that adds value to the student that's joining your group as higher ed professors. This is going to continue to evolve. New in just 2020, we've added Mimic Analytics Simulation, the Business Analytics e-textbook by Brendan Davis. By the way, Brendan Davis was very instrumental in helping us with the Mimic Analytics Simulation. And we have an advertising e-textbook that came out earlier this year by Brian and Edward Russell. Brian Sheehan and Edward Russell. They're not brothers. Thanks to them for their hard work on their book as well. With Mimic Analytics, we launched it. A lot of you have already seen it. It has some new updates already. We took first feedback and have some new updates that I wanted to quickly tell you about. There's a section built around basic data transformation that's new and has updates. There's a section on A/B testing. This is the one that I think marketing instructors are going to be the most excited about. It gives students a phenomenal experience in A/B testing. They can test literally anything, which images they want to use, which titles they want to use, whether they're going to include stars versus thumbs up in their e-commerce landing page. Really neat. But the best part is that they get a bunch of data to sift through and work with. And we've also added an advanced data integration round. So if you haven't played around with Mimic Analytics at all, jump in, get access. If you have played around with Mimic Analytics before, you need to jump back in. Order in some Jimmy John's and spend one more lunch going through this. I promise you'll be blown away by some of these new updates the engineering team came up with. Brendan Davis's book, Business Analytics, comes with a table of contents that I think will really resonate with the professors that say, hey, you know what? We don't teach an analytics class that's specific to marketing, so the marketing analytics approach doesn't work for us. We do have a business analytics class. This is that book. And it's different than the marketing analytics textbook in some ways, and it's very similar in others. But it's changed enough that but if you have to take both classes as a part of your degree, you'll find value in both. And it pairs well with the simulation. So it's top secret information here. We're working on an analytics simulation that's specific, more geared towards business general, and then we'll have this one that will gear more towards marketing analytics. Just quick sneak peek here for advertising textbook selling in today's world. The table of contents, if you haven't seen it, is here. It's broken up into some really neat different sections of the process, and then measuring and recognizing success by chapter. And guys, the thing that I think is most critical with advertising is the other books have evolved over so much time that they try to find a way to fit in digital. And this says digital's everywhere. And it's included throughout this whole book. So take some time and go through that one if you haven't. Or share it to an advertising professor you wish at your school would consider using it. Okay, Mimic Personal Finance. This is a conference for digital marketing professors. Why am I bringing it up? Well, for one, I want you to know that while we have gone after this subject that's entirely unrelated to business, even in general, we've heard from students. It came in the feedback even in the feedback that we just got, where I didn't even ask a question about financial literacy or personal finances at all. One of the things that got brought up was how to invest. I wish I'd learned more about that side of life and the job, and it was in that job slide. We've found a partner in Brian Bean, and he's an educator that built this simulation. And when we found it, we decided that we wanted to go in and help students. It's something that, just like most of everything, the whole reason I started StuCamp is I wished I'd had a better digital marketing learning experience with it when I was in school and had more exposure to it. So that's why I started StuCamp. And looking back on my education, I wish I had been taught more about personal finances. And so when we found this, we decided we were going to go and help in this space. We have a higher ed version. So if you by chance know someone that's trying to cover the teaching of personal finance in the higher ed space, love an introduction. If you have a child, a son or daughter that's going through high school that you wish was getting some of this information, the financial literacy simulation is amazing. It's really cool. It gives students the opportunity to earn an annual salary and then invest that money. It gives them a chance to get tempted. We give them all sorts of cool temptations so that they choose to spend their money unwisely and then get to learn from that experience. Anyway, I'm not going to talk more about it other than we'd love any introductions if you have some you can make for us there. This is already in over 1,000 high schools, so it's been very well received in that space. Our next book's coming. This is some announcement time I'm excited about, and I hope if you're excited about it, you'll share your excitement in the chat. The next book's coming to a course near you in 2020, a digital marketing analytics e-textbook being written by Nathan David. He is an instructor at Cleveland State University and has a lot of great real-world experience. You'll get to hear from him. He's one of the speakers at ProfCon. We have our PR textbook. Elisa and Jamie have been working hard on it. Very excited to be teamed up with them for that book. One of the reasons that we're doing a PR textbook is because we were blown away by how many PR professors were reaching out asking if they could use our Mimic Social simulation. So the PR textbook will pair well with a new simulation. I'm speaking ahead of myself. SEO textbook, Scott Cowley from Western Michigan University, who was a keynote at last year's ProfCon, good friend of mine from the industry from well before either of us got into academia, and Steve Wiedemann at Cal State Fullerton. The two of them are going to be writing an SEO textbook. I was reluctant to write this book, to have this book written and team up with these guys, not because I don't want to work with them. They're brilliant. Not because I don't want an SEO textbook. I see a need for it, but because I don't see much of a market for it. And so I hope that you guys will go to bat for me, that you'll help your marketing departments decide it's time to have an entire course dedicated to SEO. Very sadly, very few schools do. Most schools have one digital marketing class, and then they choose, am I going to teach social or digital? And then SEO is a part of that. A lot of schools that are advancing are teaching digital and social and analytics, and they're still not getting to SEO. And so yet there's a lot of feedback from the students and the data that I'm willing to share with you guys that says we wished we'd learn more SEO. So also marketing management textbook is coming. Author still yet to be announced, but coming soon. So stay tuned for those. On the simulation side, my engineering team, I should say our engineering team, because they're not just mine. These guys are a big part of the StuKent organization. A marketing principle simulation is coming, you guys. It's going to go with the Principles of Marketing text written by Rackley and Wilson. Digital marketing analytics simulation will come with that textbook that I just announced. A market research simulation is going to come with Steve Stromp's book, Market Research Essentials. Consumer behavior simulation is going to come with Radhika Dougal's book that she wrote for us. A PR simulation is coming. An SEO simulation is coming. An advertising simulation has yet to start. So I should note, public relations on up, those simulations in the works, some of them close to being completed. SEO, advertising, and professional sales are yet to get started, but they're the next ones on the horizon, the next ones we see ourselves doing. So create with us, guys. If you hear that information and you're like, yes, I'm excited, I would love to help out and be a part of that, please get involved. There are a few different ways to do that. If you have ideas for a book or a simulation, there's different ways to get involved. Go to StuKent.com. I messed up on that URL, so I need someone who's helping run the show today in the background, backstage, Kelton or someone. If you'll help me with that link, it's not StuKent.com/writewithStuKent, I don't think. But anyway, we'll chat in a link to you guys so you can go if you're interested in writing a book or working with us that way. We're going to do a simulation creation boot camp tomorrow at noon. So if you're interested in learning more about our process and what we're doing in that space, we've built a pretty cool foundation to be able to go faster with our simulation development. And it's kept us probably from doing some of the other updates we wanted to do, but we wanted to get that foundation in place so we can move faster for you guys. And so you're going to start to see more and faster, and updates faster as well. Also, by the way, another great way that you can help, even if you're like, I don't want to be an author and I'm not interested in being a subject matter expert for a simulation, being an early adopter is a great way to help. Just sharing feedback with us, jumping in and playing just yourself, saying, hey, I'm not ready to use it for my class, but I'll play through it myself. Like I said, get that Jimmy John's ordered in and use your lunchtime play through one. Man, that goes a long ways for us. Okay, I got to speed up to make sure I cover the last of everything here. We have testimonials. You may have seen them on the Facebook page. Thank you. I just wanted to take a minute. Michael, Stephanie, you're the ones that are seen here on this screenshot. Thank you for the nice things you guys say. We really appreciate it. And it goes a long way with helping others see that they should work with us too. StuKent has had a customer support team for quite a few years, basically since day one, but that was me on day one. We've grown that team. Our team of customer support and success adds up to over 10% of the entire company. We are invested in helping, like our mission says, in helping educators help students help the world. And this is a way we can do that. If you didn't know, our satisfaction rating is for customer support has been over 95% for 3+ years. So basically since we started tracking it, and we're big enough to care to track it. If you didn't know that you could reach out to us through these ways, now you do. Guys, I just wanted to take a second to tell you how I think you can get the most out of ProfCon. The way I believe that you can get the most out of ProfCon is by engaging, finding ways to comment and like what other people are saying and connect with people. The platform allows for it. You will be able to connect and share individually with specific attendees. So if you find someone that's commenting on something where they're sharing research, if you're if you're doing research on something and a speaker talks about it, say, hey, I'm sharing research on it, and see if others are interested in working with you. Kind of fun way to connect. Oh man, let me see. I'm going to have to pick what I want to end with here, guys. I'm going to end with this. I've got time. We'll make it happen. Okay, Kelton, cue the video link. In the chat, Kelton is going to link to a video I want you guys to go watch. You have to watch it in a new tab on your own computer. I can't stream it very well, so we're taking this approach. Take 3.5 minutes, go watch this video, and I'll be back to speak to you and close here in 3 minutes. So if you haven't yet, go find the link in the chat, click it, and watch this video. You guys, that trip to Africa was the trip of a lifetime. I think for most of you, the video should have wrapped up by now. I would be speaking to these students in one hall. There was 900 students in this big tent, concrete floor. Students sat side by side in a folding chair, nothing to rest what they were going to write with and take notes on. They had to sit there for 4 hours straight, which was miserable because that's how long I had to be presenting for. They wanted to make sure to take advantage of the time that they had with me. And so I was speaking for a long time. Guys, it was hard. There was no AC, so they had fans blowing, but it was hot in there. Those students were amazing. The power went out. It would just go completely black in the tent we were in. And no one freaked out. No one made a peep. It was no big deal. The other facilitator said, "Hey, just keep presenting." And I thought to myself, presenting? I can't even see the people I'm talking to anymore. They were used to it. They were used to the power going out. So Stu Kent is excited. We're going to be building a new building for Valley Ved in 2020. So we're committed to fund the building. I'm really excited to make that announcement. It means the world to me. Going and buying shoes from a business entrepreneur over there and helping them get their business started was something I'll never forget. If you're interested in helping, you can tell your students and please share the video if you can. If you'd like to make donations or do content creation to help them with their program, or content creation for the students' businesses where your students help do content creation for their businesses, would be super cool. Travel and teach. Email stewart@stewkent.com if you're interested in getting involved there. In closing, thanks for going on this mission with us. We're going to keep helping educators help students help the world, and I'm so thankful for all of you and what you do to be a part of our mission. All right, guys, that's a wrap for me. Stuart Draper signing off.
Thank you, Stu, for sharing how Stu Kent is helping teachers and educators help students help the world. We've got a lot of really exciting upcoming products, simulations, and textbooks, and we look forward to hearing from all of you professors your feedback on all of this. Does anyone have questions for Stu? We'll give you a couple minutes if you have a question. While we're doing that, I'm going to cover a couple of housekeeping items. I know we had a lot of people join in the last, after I started. So just to know.
Did you verify with Nikki that we have time for Q&A?
We have
I don't think that we do.
Start at 9. Yeah, we can skip Q&A. Let's go ahead and skip Q&A. I'll give you guys a couple quick announcements before we start with Scott. You can jump off this chat. If you heard in the beginning the walkthrough, you're good. And you'll just join the next session. So you won't stay on this to hear Scott. You'll go ahead and leave this session and join the next one. If you go back to that agenda on the lobby, you can click to join or register on that page. And we'll do a walkthrough on Scott. So go ahead, leave this page, and we will join on the next tab for Scott Cowley's presentation. All right, we'll see you all there.